This is Andy Levitri of the Buffalo Bills, and you're watching Double Coverage with Jim Matheson and Jim Seimas. Oh.
Hi, it is Jim Seimas.
Pow! I'm Andrew Matheson with this week's edition of Double Coverage. Mr. Seimas has left the building for some reason. This is all part of an elaborate scheme, I assume. Oh, look at that.
Oh, what is?
Hi! You put a panda hat underneath the table.
Really?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
It's good little...
Is there anything else? This little wardrobe change?
Oh, God bless you.
Oh.
That's right, because
You want to talk trash?
I said the Giants would be limited at this point. So historically speaking, I wasn't going out on a limb at all.
I would normally say let him maroon to him, but I'm wearing this hat and I feel kind of goofy. Although I do look good in panda.
Yeah, you don't look like a bandwagon fan at all. But what?
You know what? You're a freaking Red Sox fan. There's nothing scarier in I know there's football season, but
we're rebuilding.
Yeah, you've got a pesky pole.
Hey,
and a green monster.
We both. In terms of the Dodgers,
I want to headbutt you so bad, but this panda might knock you out. I mean, for the sake of football.
What I said was that they'd be eliminated, and I think that helped them. That was a reverse jinx.
Yeah, you did.
So you should be thanking me right now.
You did.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I did look like a bandwagon fan with that, and I want to let the record show.
Just a little bit.
The fact that I have multiple shirts, not the case.
All right. Well, we're here.
Right.
We're here to talk about football.
Yes.
Enough of
Football. Week 6 recap. Get
it up. No. Week 6.
Week 4. All right. Week 6 it is.
Where should we start, sir? Let's go down to Seaside, where I was.
All right. Let's do it.
Actually, I've been talking too much.
Game of the week.
Yeah.
That is
It was the game of the week. It was the game of the year in the Monterey Bay League
the
Pacific
big bad
Division.
Mamma Jamma. Remember that?
I don't.
That's what the game was. That's how big it was.
What was that?
That's how we set it up last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you watched other editions.
It was a huge game. It played out. It was a huge game. Lots of hype going in. And we talked about the offenses. It wasn't an offensive game at all. It was a defensive game.
Yes.
NBC posted a shutout for 44 minutes. Had a 7-0 lead.
Don't they play?
They played 48 minutes.
They played 48.
Yeah. And they had a 7-0 lead going into the final 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And Seaside just kind of stomach punches them and scores 12 points at the very end.
Yes.
One of those games we're supposed to be emotionless and objection, but I mean, it's like I
clipboard on the ground.
I felt so bad for NBC at the end of the game. I mean, it's like a pitcher throws a no-hitter into the 9th inning in a 1-run game, and he lets up 2 back-to-back home runs and loses.
So it goes a 2-hitter. Happens all the time.
Yeah, a 2-hitter loss. NBC's defense played great.
This is what I want.
Seaside has so many weapons, and
yes, they do.
I mean, even in hindsight, you're like, wow.
Seriously,
when looking at the field, they should have won 40-0. But I mean,
yeah.
I'm not done making my point.
Go ahead.
But their offense just didn't match up, basically.
Yeah, I just figured like this was going to be an upset if Monte Vista won this game, right? Or was how we were looking at it?
Based on on paper, yeah. Because Seaside's weapons, it's off the charts. I mean, what they have offensively, what they have defensively.
They're both super talented on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But Seaside has a home field advantage.
Which, by the way, that was kind of a side story there.
How so?
Oh, let me tell you. Basically, there was a league realignment from last year during the off season. It jumbled the schedules a little bit, and Seaside got another home game against NBC. They played at their place last year against Seaside, and NBC won that game. But this was the 3rd time they've played at Seaside in the last 4 years.
Not cool, Spartans.
Not cool, but they didn't do anything. It was just whoever made the schedule. So obviously, NBC and Seaside could meet up again in the playoffs. NBC is hoping that happens.
Because
there's
some missed opportunities.
A lot of missed opportunities. There was a fumble by NBC on 1st and goal at the 5. You get a touchdown there, they win the game. Yeah. That's it. That's the difference. That's how close it was.
We're looking at 2 potential small school finalists, perhaps. Not to say anything that SoCal won't be there, or Seaside might play up a division.
Or maybe even Palma.
Yeah.
Well,
that
division could be extremely loaded.
It'll be awesome. Yeah. Because obviously Menlo and Sacred Heart Prep as well. Yeah. So we'll keep our eyes open for how things shake up over the next 3 weeks.
Sounds good.
Friday night I was in Aptos.
Were you?
Yeah, they have previously held our #1 spot for top snack bars. I'm gonna say it's dropped a little bit, a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah, it was good.
Wait.
The meat was good.
Think about what you're about to say.
I know. I know. I'm going to insult 40,000 people here. It's not the end of the world. I really like Santa Cruz's snack bar now, and I know this is just off the.
I had Santa Cruz 2 weeks ago.
It's amazing, and it's probably one of the better ones and one of the most improved.
I mean, they offer calamari, which
I had a soggy steak sandwich. I know.
How dare they?
They wrapped it in foil, and the bread was just. It was.
Did they know you were
I threw
coming?
it away. They did not know I was coming.
So it was like a phantom. It was like a phantom gourmet type deal.
I was a guest eater and showed up, and they weren't expecting me, and it was wrapped and it was soggy, and I threw away the bread. You know.
About that game.
The game.
Yeah.
You want to know that the Mariners had a rally from 14-0 deficit?
Yeah.
I was stunned. First, and no offense to Scotts Valley, but I was just like, wow, Scotts Valley's going to pull the upset of the season right now.
Well, they got to a lead against SoCal too, right?
They did.
Sorry.
They did. You caught me off guard. Here's your steak that's soggy. All right, go eat it.
Sorry, you had to think about last week.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, I can barely think about Friday, buddy. Brody Bennett for Aptos helped Aptos get back into this game. Ran for 3 touchdowns. Elijah Marta ran for 2. They ran for 456 yards and 5 touchdowns to get back in this game. Ari Wargon had 2 touchdowns for Scotts Valley. It was an exciting game. But the thing that surprised me most was Aptos' defensive pressure. Coach Randy Blankenship said they would blitz the heck out of people and surprise people with their speed. They registered 4 sacks.
Wow.
Alec Bonsall and Brody Bennett looked extremely well. Bonsall had 2.5 sacks.
And that defense is, I know I've
They're
talked
impressive.
to him as well. He says they improve almost every week. I mean, every week, let's say.
We knew they could run the ball, but their defense impressed me more than anything.
Yeah.
Even though Scotts Valley put up a 21 spot.
Yeah.
So
Scotts Valley, I mean, again.
You're going to say exactly what Louis said.
What?
I still think we're a pretty good team.
I do.
I know. They're the best 1-5 team I know.
Yeah.
You know?
And they play SLV next week, so their schedule does not take a week off.
No.
But
Then
it's
we'll
another game that they could win.
Yes.
Even with they haven't won since week 0.
Yeah. And
So
we'll talk about that next matchup Wednesday.
We will.
So, anyway.
Okay. Now on to Saturday's game. Speaking of SLV,
Yes.
because we were talking about them last segment,
Yes, we
they
were.
played St. Francis. We were.
Yes.
And they won 45-7.
Sounds close. Like a
Was
pretty good game, no?
No, not really. I mean, the difference of the game was St. Francis couldn't get their offense going.
Uh-huh.
They had a couple of poor punts.
Did they get their guys back? Their injured guys?
Can I finish my thought?
Sorry.
Please. Oh. And that had short field position for SLV to take advantage of, and they most certainly did. They were up 31-0 at one point at the start. And then at that point, that's when St. Francis' offense got going a little bit, but just...
Was there like some, not that SLV is incredibly deep or has a lot of numbers, some heavy substitution going on, a running clock? What helped?
Oh yeah, it was pretty much a running clock throughout the second half.
Okay.
And they did put their subs in. But, I mean, basically, when I talked about my game story,
Yes.
you should go read it.
Yes.
But they kind of an opposite schedule of Scotts Valley a little bit in terms of strength.
Oh yeah. That's going to be
St. Francis, SLV is kind of through their the lesser teams. Now they beef up big time.
We are going to find out how good they really are right now.
Exactly. SLV plays Scotts Valley, then they play SoCal, then they play Aptos, and then they get a bye week on week 10. So we'll see if that bye week means anything. But this is where they need to prove themselves. Basically, they've won 5 in a row. But
are they man or are they Cougars?
Are they man-children or are they not man-children?
Exactly.
That's the question.
I'm thinking they're leaning more toward the man-children side.
I think they are. I think they're legitimate. They're not.
legit.
They're not a pushover by any means. And it'll be interesting. I mean, Newberry's developing, and Thunder and Lightning.
There you go.
Petziger and Bryson.
There you go.
That's their bread and butter. So,
Nice.
do you have any questions for me?
The score, the outcome is pretty much what I expected.
I mean, it was lopsided. It's not too much to talk about.
Yeah.
It is about their schedule and how it ramps up for the next couple of weeks, and we'll have more to discuss about SLV, I think, in the upcoming weeks and how they size up.
Okay.
So, where were you Saturday?
I was at a little bit closer game. It was actually further.
Proximity, or
yes.
Okay.
It was actually in San Jose.
Okay.
But the game score-wise
so further away.
was very close.
Okay.
Like that? I'm not gonna give you that. I did see.
What did you see?
was Cabrillo recorded 5 sacks. It was pretty cool. And
Did we get one?
Swim move! Rip move! All right. You want to go through the swim again? Synchronize that?
Yeah.
5 sacks. Now that means San Jose City has allowed, I believe, 24 sacks on the season.
But who's counting? Yeah.
And they've still rushed for 1 touchdown in 6 games. So the offensive line is not very good for San Jose.
Punching him in the stomach.
But you know what it is? Is Cabrillo's defense is very good.
Yeah.
Week in and week out, it keeps them in games. Riggs Powell had an awesome leaping interception. Like I said, 5 sacks. J.P. Holbert had a couple sacks.
Holbert, it is.
Oh, yeah, nice. Michael Shuey also recorded a sack.
Shuey.
And actually, Moses Katoa. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. And Michael Shuey, I believe I mentioned had
Shuey.
So 5 sacks. It was awesome. A shutout, their first in 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit because
you had to go back in the record books.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Cabrillo always stocks his defense, and then leftovers go to offense.
Which is yeah.
But that said, I was a little surprised. It's been 6 years since a shutout, for them. So it was an awesome effort. It really was.
And I mean, and a big win, obviously, to open up the conference.
Yeah, they're 1-0 now, and now they have Hartnell next week, which we'll discuss later in the week.
But I think they at least entered they had the most wins in non-conference play. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, they're saying, all the guys are saying this is a new season, new life, and that's all we care about. We don't care how we win, if we win.
Second season, they call it.
Second season.
Yeah.
The second coming of the Seahawks. That's it for our Week 6 recap.
All done.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, big weekend.
Big weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm getting married.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I'm already married. I will be on Sunday, and depending on when this comes out, this is in the past probably, but I will be trying out. I might not be here next week, because I'll be trying out for the Santa Cruz Warriors.
I think you got a shot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm 6-0.5. I haven't played a legitimate game of basketball since, I think, the 7th grade. I tried out for the 7th grade team.
Don't ruin all the stuff that's going to go in your wonderful column.
Coming out, probably Monday.
Yeah. So you got to check this out. His first hand account of trying out for the Santa Cruz Warriors.
And making the team.
Andrew, the White Wonder Matheson, is going to Larry Bird it up and hold it.
More John Stockton.
A lot of backpedaling. The one when he goes 1 for 30, when he makes that one, he's going to backpedal.
Yep.
This is going to be phenomenal.
I liken myself to a 6-foot Ben Wallace with a streaky 3-point shot. So that means I play decent defense. I can rebound.
You look like Ben Wallace. Your hair does.
And I have a streaky 3-point shot. That speaks
Ben
for
Wallace
itself.
hairdo, right? Hi.
Unbelievable. What time? It's like 1 in the morning.
This is great.
You're getting a phone call on live television here.
Find my mom.
Maybe we should wrap it up. That does it for this week's episode. Check us out online. Be sure not to turn off the phone.
Yeah.
SantaCruzSentinel.com.
//
football. Check us out on social media, Twitter, Andrew Matheson, SC, airing it out. Check out our blogs. We're everywhere.
We are. And right now we're gone.
And we're out.